end the season. It'll be the first time in his career Brady is on the road for a wild card game, and his first obstacle will be Chase Young, Washington's strong D-line, Saturday night. Michael Vick is still with us. So, Mike, how much of a problem will the Washington pass rush be for Tom Brady?
It's going to be a problem. I mean, it's going to be a serious problem. I think back to some of the games that the Bucs played this year, particularly the game against the Chicago Bears when they had a furious pass rush and they was healthy. You know, they got at Tom, and it was at various times throughout the season where I felt like teams was able to get to Tom, touch him, get him off his spot, and make him uncomfortable. And this is what the Washington football team is going to do. You know, Chase Young is going to be relentless. If he said it, he meant it, I feel like. And he's going to be coming for Tom. I used to have guys sack me all the time, and you know, it was, I sacked Mike Vick, you know, and they was excited about that. So, you know, they're going to be elated to try to get at Tom Brady. And if they get to him, and they're going to want to get to him again. So everybody's going to feed off that momentum, and everybody's going to feed off Chase Young, his comments and what he said, and feel like they got to back him up. So that's going to make it even worse. You know, I feel like Tom can handle it. The last 3 weeks of the season, they protected Tom. I thought Tom moved around in the pocket well. I thought he was able to stay upright and find his targets, and that's what's going to have to be on display. They're going to have to, you know, protect Tom to the best of their abilities and get whatever they can get out of the passing game. But unfortunately, when you got to watch a defensive front all week, you know, like a ravenous front that the football team has, you know, just for your mental in the game, it can throw you off. And you can see ghosts. You can feel guys around you who's not really there. You Iron Chase Young, you're looking for him, and it becomes a distraction. But this is not Tom's first rodeo, you know, going against a strong defensive front. It's just now he has to face it at 43 years old, and I don't know how that's going to go.
When I look at this, let me ask you a question, Mike. Do you believe the football team can get to 20 points? Because all the teams that beat him this year, they all got to 20 plus. You look at Kansas City, you look at the Rams, you look at New Orleans, you look at Chicago. Can they get to that? You see, I don't believe the Tampa Bay defense has to get out of character. It was just like if somebody was facing you and they know you got an injured ankle. Well, Mike is not as mobile as he was. We got to come get him. Well, you basically got a man with one leg back there. Let's be all the way real. Alex Smith cannot get out of harm's way. We watched Sunday night. We saw Sunday night. And that was with the Eagles had taken out the best player in Fletcher Cox defensively. Barnett didn't play. So they had and deactivated a lot of other guys. Yeah. The one thing that Tampa can do, they can score points and they can put pressure on your quarterback. Now, if you can hold it, if you can lock it up, you can take advantage of their back end, because I don't think the secondary, and I've been saying that, I don't think the secondary is very good. But I just don't see how, with a guy in Hinkie with limited experience and Alex Smith that's basically back there, basically on one leg, I just don't see how they get enough points. Because even with the most vaunted defense, you keep trotting them out there after 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and you watch what happens.
Discouraged.
Timeout. So just for Michael's edification, earlier in the show, Shannon told me that Tom Brady and company are going to win this game 31-10 in a blowout. Yet, Michael, Shannon has preached to me for years. Brady's kryptonite is if you can get to him consistently with only 4 rushers.
Yes.
Well, obviously, we saw that back at the first Eli Super Bowl, Michael Strahan and company, 4 rushers got to him all game long, and he had a long, hard day in that game. And then Von Miller and company, it was just really Von by himself, but he got to him all day long, right? And then this year, twice New Orleans, obviously, as you talked about, the Thursday night game against Khalil Mack and company, and then the Rams. And Brady had long games. And so I reversed the question to Shannon, how's Brady going to get to 20 points?
Brady, because I think the thing is because he'll get enough possessions. Because the more possessions, because, Skip, it's not like Washington has the type of offense. If you were playing Baltimore, they can possess the ball. You're playing Tennessee, you're playing teams that can possess the ball. Washington can't possess the football.
They can run it. I don't know if they can run it against this team.
And I think you know, with Washington, you know, all good things on the defense. You look at Alex Smith, he's still kind of banged up, and we don't know how that situation is going to play out. If Alex not out there, then they're going with a backup, and you're not going to get the offensive production that you're looking for unless a miracle happens. I think Tom is going to come out firing on all cylinders. I feel like this is going to be the game where they put it all together and make a statement, and then we're going to be talking about them next week like, is this team really for real? And this is the time for them to step up. You know, I don't know how many points they're going to score. I know it should be somewhere in 20 to 20-plus range because the Washington football team, they're going to give up a lot of possessions. There's going to be a lot of 3-and-outs. I think the Tampa Bay defense is going to play well, and Tom's going to have more opportunities than not. So, you know, put it all together. I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to come out of this one on top, and I like them to win big.
Do you really? But you did say the pass rush is going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think they're going to overcome that, Skip. I think it's going to show up in spots. And we talked about this before. You take that best pass rusher, you take him out the game, and you take him out of the way, you put an extra guy on him. You let the back, chip on him a little bit. And it's ways to get him out of there. And I know Bruce is going to game plan for that. Tom's going to game plan. Brian's going to be all over it. That's the only way you occupy that situation. And then you challenge the rest of the guys to go one-on-one with Montez Sweat and company. So it's going to be an even matchup, and the ball is going to come out quick, I promise you. Also, they can't forget about their run game.
Skip, think about this. When you look at the Saints, what did they do? They got pressure. Brady went 3-and-out. They scored. You look at Kansas City. They got pressure on Brady early. They went 3-and-out. They scored.
Even Jared Goff scored.
Yes. Okay. Do you believe Washington has that type of offense that can do what?
They have two serious weapons. Terry McLaurin can fly. And Logan Thomas has turned into a force at tight end at about, I think he's 6'6".
Yeah, he's big. Yeah, he's big.
All right. And then, Michael, back to you. How good is Chase Young? What do you see? You put him in perspective.
Chase Young reminds me of Julius Peppers.
Yeah.
And that's probably what Ron Rivera see when you watch him. I know when I watch him and the way he comes off the ball, the way he uses his hands, the tenacity, the way he makes everybody around him better, and his speed and mobility, he reminds me of Julius Peppers. That's him all over again, the size, the strength. And he's going to be a force to be reckoned with for a long time. I'm just glad I'm not playing in this era and I played against Julius, even though I couldn't get away from Julius. He was the man. If I couldn't get away from him, imagine what guys are going to have to go through in the future, trying to get away from Chase Young. So, he's the Julius Peppers prototype.
Okay, so let me sum this up by saying I have a queasy feeling about this game, being a Brady supporter, because there's certain things in football that are just